Hello everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in to GavsWeatherVids on your Christmas Eve. This is today's third video update. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. Day 10 will take us to the 3rd of January, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with GFS and ECM Ensembles. Maybe run to around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, gets us into the second half of January, and we'll bring you up to date with all of the latest stratospheric developments as well. So please like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content, and thank you so very much everybody for doing that. As I say, it's Christmas Eve, so happy Christmas Eve to each and every one of you. And I put out a tweet earlier on, you know, with this lovely image of 2 candles, and just to say, but on this Christmas Eve we do remember those that we have loved, you know, those that have left us, but still very much remain part of our Christmases. So in remembrance, you know, of everyone that has lost someone, not just this year but in years gone by, and is remembering those loved ones on this Christmas Eve, Ben, we're all with you, and we remember our loved ones too. Merry Christmas Eve to all of you. Okay, let's crack on then and have a look at what's going on in the stratosphere. So, this is how things are currently looking in terms of temperature at 10 HPA over the Arctic and the North Pole. These dark blue colours are representing the polar vortex at its roots in the stratosphere. Temperatures around -68 over the North Pole in the stratosphere. Notice we've already got a displacement of the polar vortex. That might start having a bit of an impact even into early January before any potential SSW has any impact. This displacement of the PV and weakening, therefore, of the PV might have some impact by the time we get into early January. But you can see the warming starting to gather here down across southern parts of Europe and also into North Africa. Let's see how this develops on this particular GFS run over the next few days. So here we go, pushing up into Russia and Siberia by the time we get through to the end of December, reaching really quite intense stratospheric warming levels there by New Year's Eve. Temperatures going up to around -8 at 850 HPA in the atmosphere, or 10 HPA I should say, in the atmosphere. Bear in mind we're starting off at around -60 there, so from Christmas Eve to New Year's Day we've gone up something like 50-60 degrees or so. And as we go on, and that is like just sudden stratospheric warming temperature increase. As we go on into the new year, we find those red colours, red and orange colours, starting to penetrate from Russia and Siberia over in towards the North Pole itself, further displacing and also weakening the blue colours, the PV at its roots. No split of the PV, but a displacement event there as we go through the first week, 10 days of January. Notice the warming starting to become more focused around Canada and North America as well. Perhaps intensify the warming a little bit there. So even as late as the 9th of January, although the PV is still in business, albeit displaced over towards the North Atlantic and Northern Europe, if this warming over North America was to start intensifying, that would have another go at to get into the PV. So even if we don't get a split, you know, of PV up to the 9th of January, possible that even going further up, going on further on into January, we might even get a split of the PV a little bit later on. Let's have a look at the GFS Ensembles. Why not do that? So starting with the control run, again, New Year's Day, we see this big warming over Russia and also over Siberia as well. As we go on through the first week of January, the warming kind of starts to fade out a little bit and becomes more focused over toward the Pacific and the Pacific side of the Arctic and into western parts of Canada. However, it's still strong enough to produce a displacement event. I'm not sure if that will reverse the zone of wind, but still strong enough, 10 HPA, but still strong enough to produce a displacement event. Ensemble member number 1 looks like that. That one's starting to split the PV. Look at that, by the 9th of January, Ensemble member number 1 is showing a split of the PV beginning to take place there. Ensemble member number 2 looking like that displacement event with that one. Ensemble member number 3 looks like that again, displacement event with ensemble member ensemble member number 3, ensemble member number 4, splits the PV. Look at that. That's a definite split of the PV. That's what we're looking for. That will reverse down winds. So that's doing everything, you know, that's doing everything. It's reaching the required temperature level at 10 HPA in the stratosphere over Russia and Siberia. It's moving the warming into the North Pole as well, displacing the PV, then ultimately splitting the PV, another warming gathering over America and Canada up towards Greenland, and splitting the PV into 2 loads, one load going off toward Western America, another load sinking down into Europe. That is doing everything that we look for a sudden stratospheric warming to do to get a dramatic tropospheric response. Ensemble member number 4 is the one. Let's have a look at a few more. This ensemble member number 5, that one also splitting the PV. This is much more of a trend today. Merry Christmas from the GFS for those of you that want to see a split of PV. Ensemble member number 6 is also starting to split the PV, not quite as dramatic, but definitely showing a split the BB with that one. Ensemble member number 7 is doing that, so displacement event. Ensemble member number 7. Ensemble member number 8. Again, splitting the PV and really intensifying the warming over North America, Canada towards Greenland as well. So that's very, very dramatic. Ensemble member with number 8. How exciting! You pleased that I did this one-off video for this Christmas, 10 to 14 day video. I don't normally do a 10 to 14 day on Christmas Eve, but I bet a lot of you are pleased to be seeing me start displacement event with ensemble member number 9. How's ensemble member number 10 looking? Let's have a look. That one again, go for displacement event. Ensemble member number 11, displacement event. Ensemble member number 12 looks like that displacement event with that one of over PV really being stretched with that one and could split at any point really after that. Ensemble member number 13 beginning to split PV. Ensemble member number 14 looking like that again, beginning to split the PV, definite signs of split that one. Ensemble member number 15 looks like that displacement event with number 15. Ensemble member number 16 displacement event with that one. Ensemble member number 17 looks like that. Ensemble member number 18 is looking like that. That one is also starting to split the PV. Ensemble by the 9th of January. Ensemble member number 19 looks like that, more of a displacement event with that one. Ensemble member number 20, displacement event there. Ensemble member number 21, looks like that, displacement. Ensemble member number 22, like that, displacement with that one. Ensemble member number 23, displacement event. Will we get a split on any more of these ensemble members? Let's see what happens. Ensemble member number 24, that one starting to split the PV as well, definitely. Ensemble member number 25 looks like that displacement event with that one. Ensemble member number 26, displacement event. Ensemble member number 27, displacement event. Ensemble member number 28 looks like that. Again, displacement with that one. Ensemble member number 29 looks like that, displacement. And finally, ensemble member number 30, splitting the PV on number 30 as well. Merry Christmas from the GFS and its ensembles there. Definitely more of a trend to not only produce a very dramatic warming of the stratosphere over Russia and Siberia between Christmas and New Year, but into the New Year, moving that warming into the polar region, into the Arctic at 10 HPA, displacing the polar vortex and splitting it on several of those ensemble members. So starting to get really, really very interesting. But one thing I haven't mentioned is that it is Christmas Eve, so that means the next 2 or 3 days we have to be careful with model output, because there will be lower than usual observational data being fed into these models by aircraft, particularly on Christmas Day. I don't think that will have any impact for today, because there would have still been plenty of flights yesterday and, into this morning as well. Still lots and lots of flights I would have thought going on. So I don't think that's responsible for this. But when you get to Christmas Day, particularly Boxing Day, actually, there will be a lower level of observational data from aircraft, and so we just have to be a little bit cautious over the next couple of days with the model output. It's one of the reasons I don't actually do a 10 to 14 day on Christmas Day, and I will re-emphasise this point when we do Boxing Days 10 to 14 day. But all looking very interesting there. This is from Weather is Cool, so these green lines are showing us how many members of the GFS Ensembles there the 6Z suite are going for a reversal of zone winds. So there are a few, probably about, I don't know, perhaps about 4 or 5 going for a reversal of zone winds. That is a technical SSW. Most of them going for a dramatic weakening. I think we need to wait another few days on that, though. I would suspect what tends to happen with these warming events is that the number of ensemble members going for a reversal, gradually increases as you get closer to it. And the warming doesn't, well, it's beginning like across southern Europe at the moment. The warming doesn't really get going until the last 2 or 3 days of the year. So that's still several days away. So I suspect the number of ensemble members going for a reversal here will increase. This is from University of Berlin. So that's all GFS data and GFS ensemble data. This is from University of Berlin from the ECM. So currently, of course, the temperature at 10 HPA is quite cold, about a bit above average. That's for Christmas Eve. What I want to look at, though, with this is down here. This is the strength of the zonal wind at 60 degrees north. Remember, we're looking for a reversal of zonal winds. Let's say we have had a major sudden stratospheric warming. At the moment, today, the zonal wind is at 10.8 ms. That is weaker than average, actually, this time of year, but still strongly positive. Now, by day 10, which was generated last night, by the way, so day 10, with this is the 2nd of January, but by day 10, the strength of the zonal wind has gone down to just plus 1.6 ms. Notice that the warming from Siberia is starting to move toward the pole as well. There's another at least 2 or 3 days of intensification of the warming over the polar region itself, I think, there. So the peak for over North Pole probably happens around the 4th or the 5th of January. So it looks quite likely that zone wind will reverse, I think, with the ECM prediction. Anyway, if it's already down to just 1.6 ms there on the 2nd of January, I would imagine by the 4th of January it's highly likely that that the zone wind will have gone into reverse at 60 degrees north, and therefore will be a technical major sudden stratospheric warming. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Of course you will, and we'll bring you up to date. I won't do it 10 to 14 day tomorrow because it's Christmas Day. We will bring you up to date on all of the latest stratospheric developments on Boxing Day. Right, moving on to the rest of the video. This is how the central temperature is looking now, up to 6.5. That is 1.9 degrees above 61.99 average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 23rd of December. Today is probably the mildest Christmas Day on record. I haven't got the UK Met up, actually, to see whether they have confirmed that, but I did see reports earlier on today that temperatures have reached the level to be warmest Christmas Eve on record. So this will probably be the warmest Christmas Eve on record. That's going to boost the CT more when this updates tomorrow. So despite an exceptionally cold start, remember it's over 5 degrees below average for the first day of the month, actually we're going to end up with a very mild December. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. The next couple of weeks, I thought look at Northampton today, local to me as it is Christmas Eve. I thought, why not? Just have a little Christmas present. So red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton. It breaks on New Year's Eve, so let's change the colour and continue the line. So if you can envisage, it will be more up and down than this, of course, but if you can envisage that the red line will do something like that, will be in that sort of rough position, it shows that we're going to be up and down the rest of the year, so warmer sectors and cooler sectors alternating with one another, telling us that we are in a zonal pattern up to the end of the year, but maybe a little bit below average over the new year. We might get a bit of a cold snap over the new year, that remains to be seen. Bit of a tick up there, and then the trend looks like it's downwards right the way from, say, the 5th of January onwards, 4th, 5th of January onwards, right way towards the 10th. See the white line dropping away there. No, it looks like we're going into a cooling trend as we go through the first week to 10 days of January. I doubt that's got much to do with the stratospheric developments. I think that is probably more likely down to the displacement event of PV that we've already had the PP is already displaced and therefore weakened compared to normal. So that's probably more to do with that than the SSW. Generally, well, the potential SSW, given it's not actually occurred yet. So the Sudden Stratospheric Warmings tend to have like a 2 to 3 week time lag between having an effect in the tropospheric level. Sometimes they never have an effect at the tropospheric level. We have to keep that in mind. Sometimes they don't propagate down properly to the troposphere, and no discernible effect can be seen. But more often than not, there is an effect from a SSW, and it tends to be like a couple of weeks time lag. So I doubt that's got much to do with any SSW prospects. As far as precipitation is concerned, well, some big precipitation spikes coming through from Christmas Day through to the end of the year, really, and then into early January, more precipitation spikes as well. So unsettled conditions ongoing. Snow road looks like that. Not much happening from a snow perspective. Could be a few flakes, perhaps, sometime around the 30th or New Year's Eve, and perhaps a little bit more generally later on towards the end of the first week of January, because that is a long way off. It's therefore in the unreliable time frame of GFS and its ensembles. Temperature anomalies for 24th of December from Christmas Eve to New Year's Day, 1st of January, above average for England, Wales, a little bit below average for Scotland. Precipitation anomalies from the 24th of December, 1st of January, generally above normal, wetter than average conditions likely. Latest Windflow Map from NorthSchool.net shows reason it is so mild today is that we're drawing in that long thick southwest coming all the way up from the Azores, even south from southwest of the Azores, actually, maybe from Bermuda or somewhere like that. It really is a exceptionally mild, long thick southwesterly, but we're bringing in today. Notice winds, though, starting to turn around to more of a northwesterly in the far north of the country, with air originating somewhere around southern Greenland and Iceland. That obviously is a cooler part of the North Atlantic, and that will be the trend when we get beyond Christmas Day to still be unsettled, but will be a rather cooler variety. Okay, let's start going through chart data. Remember, SSW Latest UK bet. I haven't had any Christmas tipple. Not yet. Maybe later. But if I start mixing up my words, it's because I've lost a chunk of my tongue last year. All right, everybody. So haven't been on the Christmas magic water yet. Okay, latest UK bet Euro run for midnight on Wednesday. Low pressure coming up from the southwest, bringing lots of wind and rain on Wednesday. Very unsettled conditions through to the end of the week, heading into a New Year weekend. The low pressure gradually starts to inch its way away to the east and pull the winds in from more of a northerly direction. So that's how it looks as we get to Sunday, 31st, 7 New Year's Eve, starting to bring something a little bit cooler down from the north, then perhaps still unsettled though. Icon, again, with a low pressure coming up from the southwest, bringing plenty of wet and windy weather in with it. Then low pressure sticks around the country through the second half of next week. Plenty of wind and rain to come there into the New Year weekend. So one low pressure gets out of the way, another one starts replacing it. So just thoroughly unsettled, further bouts of rain all the way up to New Year's Eve with Icon. The black line is a jet stream, remember, so we are on the cool side of the jet stream, meaning that although it's unsettled, and so although it will still be relatively mild in the south and the southwest, it will be actually rather cooler than it currently is. So we're losing like the exceptionally mild temperatures through next week. This is how KMA is looking from South Korea. Again, all much of a muchness really through the second half of next week. Plenty of low pressure, meaning lots of wet weather. A little bit colder when we get to the end of next week, the next weekend, and then low pressure's back in again for New Year's Eve to New Year's Day. That would also go on a northwest-southeast trajectory, bring more cool or quite cold weather into the north. Possibly some wintry conditions there, and then on through the opening days of January. So a little bit of a ridge starts to build, and that ridge is trying to inch its way out to Scandinavia by the 5th of January. So it's starting to get just a little bit more block there. Not overly cold, but certainly chillier, probably some light frost. And of course, if the high pressure was to strengthen over Scandinavia, then that could start getting the wind into an easterly. The GFS midnight run, again, bring lots of low pressure up from the Atlantic through the second half of the week into the weekend. Further bouts of rain can come through the new year, looking very unsettled too. But by New Year's Day, the low pressure starts moving away to the east. A ridge building in the Atlantic towards Iceland. start turning wind into a colder northerly, and as we go into the new year, so through 2nd to 3rd of January, looking quite cold there actually, possibly colder for some snow showers in northern and eastern regions, and certainly a return of some quite sharp overnight frost. High pressure then dominating the weather as we go further on through the first week of January, starting to pull away to the northwest, dropping in quite a cold northerly, so all looking rather cold, I have to say, here on the GFS Midnight Run in the first week of January. Even if it's nothing particularly spectacularly cold, it's certainly a lot colder than we've had recently. How seriously we take that, I'm not sure, because check out the GFS 6Z. Again, low pressure piling up from the southwest on Wednesday. Wet and windy right way through to the new year. Really, perhaps not quite as bad as the midnight run, but nevertheless, still pretty wet and windy. And from the south, actually quite mild as well, as the high pressure again is strengthening around Spain. And we go on up to day 10. The low pressures keep coming, but no cold snap with the GFS 6 there. Unlike midnight runs, so instead of northerlies, we actually get southerlies. Through the first week of January, still very unsettled with low pressure continuously piling through. Eventually, we finish up by the 9th of January, looking just that little bit cooler from the northwest. If you enjoyed the video, please you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. It's Christmas Eve, everyone. Wow, wow, wow. Christmas Eve with GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much for tuning in to the channel on your Christmas Eve. Okay, GM, again, looking really unsettled on Wednesday. Wet and windy weather pushing in from the southwest as we go through to the second half of next week. Again, just the onslaught goes on, further bouts of rain. Come a little cold snap for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day maybe, doesn't last long by days 9 and 10. Yes, you've guessed it, low pressure returns and we're back into wet, windy weather again. And then the ECM at WF, much this for Wednesday, lots of wet, windy weather piling up from the southwest into the Christmas New Year period. Looks really unsettled, bouts of rain sweeping through the country with these areas of low pressure too. A little bit cooler there by New Year's Eve. Winds in from the northeast, slight cool snap, but again, not for long. We go through to the opening days of January, looking wet and windy. Again, the ECM is trying to raise the heights a little bit towards the northeast, more focus on Western Russia and Finland. But nevertheless, I've got a bit of warm air advection there, so that high pressure to the northeast could strengthen a bit more if we could go any further on, which of course we can't. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TemP.com. Christmas Day will be turning increasingly wet across England and Wales. Meanwhile, further north, there's showers, and some of those showers could turn to snow over high ground from the central parts of Scotland. Maybe some snow to low levels by the end of Christmas Day. Boxing Day, much drier, brighter day. We're back to wet and windy, so on Wednesday, some of that rain turns to quite significant snow as it moves into the cold air across Scotland, and some snow possible down the Pennine chain over high ground of northern England. Very wet further south of that, and also quite windy too. By Thursday, we're into sunshine and showers. Some of those could be quite wintry. Then, that takes through to Saturday when there is some snow there for England and Wales, particularly through Wales and the Midlands. Not sure about that at all, but nice little bit of eye candy there. That is a nice little snow event through Wales and Midlands and East Anglia there on Saturday. I think that's Saturday, isn't it? 30th. Yeah, that's right. I lose track with my days at this time of the year. Again, not sure about that at all. So we'll know more about that in a few days. But let me just say that is unlikely to verify. In any case, we go drier for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and colder, but not for long. The wet winters are back in again by the time we get to day 10, which is, of course, is the 3rd of January. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensemble day 4, day 10. From the Icelandic Metropolis gets us to the 3rd of January. 27 members of the ECM Ensembles looking really unsettled, low pressure in control. 14 with low pressure away to the northwest, high pressure originating to the south to some degree anyway. But that also very unsettled. Then we've got 10 with a ridge building from the south to the north. That's probably going to be the driest and coldest option. Could be some frost coming through with that. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. And it gets us to the 8th of January. Let's change the colour for this. 13 members of the ECM Ensembles with high pressure to our door, so that looks quite cold. That'll be bringing in a wind from an east or a northeasterly direction via that blocking of high pressure to the north. 10 again with high pressure focus around Iceland, Greenland, low pressure to our northeast. That looks cold too, with wind direction in from the north or the northeast. We've got another 10 with high pressure somewhere towards Greenland, Iceland. Low pressure is over on the continent, over to our south and east. Again, that could well or should well be bringing in the wind from an east or a northeasterly direction. 9 just here with high pressure to the northwest of Scotland, somewhere between Scotland and Iceland. Perhaps not quite as cold with that, but nevertheless still quite chilly, I would have thought, at the very least. Wind still coming in from a generally northeasterly direction. And then 9, which is keeping things relatively mild, high pressure over France, low pressure to our north. So that basically keeps the wind coming in from off the Atlantic. So that's one, but a significant minority option though. You know, there's only 9 doing that. So if you put the 13 there, together with the 10 there, and the 10 there, and probably the 9 there, you've got a strong majority in favour actually of getting high pressure further north by the end of the first week of January, and consequently we could be cold by then. Wow, wow, wow. CFS V2 finally beats a 500 middle bar high size breakdown into week periods. The first week period takes us from today, the 24th of December, to the 30th of December. Low pressure is up to the north, high pressure is to the south, winds coming in from a west or southwesterly direction, unsettled and relatively mild. Week 2 is going to be the 31st of December, New Year's Eve, 6th of January. Low pressure and sinking through the country, unsettled and quite cool there with that one. Week 3 shows a bit of a change. It's the 7th, 13th of January, much more anti-cyclonic. The high pressure is generally still sitting over to the western country, so overall probably still bringing the wind from off the Atlantic. However, you'll notice this high pressure up here, it looks like those 2 highs are ridging together. Which is a new trend, I think, from the CFS today. Those 2 highs are trying to ridge together, and so we're not that far from getting the wind in from the northeast there. And then week 4 is going to be the, let's have a look, the 14th to 20th of January. High pressure pulls out to our west, low pressure to the northwest. That could bring a northwest-southeast alignment to wind flow and jet stream. So probably relatively mild up to that point. But there's 1 or 2 hints today from CFS that things might start getting a little bit colder, maybe beginning to pick up on a bit more of a blocking signal as we progress further on through January. Only a hint though, and still trying desperately, as hard as it can actually, to keep things mild. So we shall see about that. Okay, we're done with our Christmas Eve 10 to 14 day, first one that I've ever done on Christmas Day in terms of 10 to 14 days. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why don't drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And please don't forget to tell friends and family about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. I haven't said yet, but around 6 or 7 subscribers, I think it is, will get us to 17.5k. We are so close to 17.5k. So if you could give us a sub, tell your friends and family to subscribe, get us to 17.5k for Christmas. That would be amazing. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right, so that's the last 10 to 14 day until Boxing Day. So I'll just tell you what's happening on the channel tomorrow. We're going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast and the historic video. We always do a historic video, GavsWeatherVids on Christmas Day. So tomorrow's historic weather video, we'll be looking at the winter of 1836, 1837, includes a Christmas snowstorm, and also the coldest spring on record in 1837. So that's coming up for you tomorrow. Boxing Day, no 6 AM forecast, because I don't really want to record that on Christmas night. Not sure I'll be in any state to. Not, you know, might have 1 or 2 little glasses of magic water on Christmas Day, who knows? But anyway, no 6 AM forecast for Boxing Day, but there will actually be a 10 to 14 day later on in the day, so I hope that's all right for everyone. We're going to be live streaming tonight around 10 to 11 p.m. I'll start that off, and we'll live stream into the first 10 minutes or so of Christmas Day. So it won't be particularly weather related, but I suspect we'll end up having a look at the 12Z runs of the pub run probably. You know, so it's just going to be a nice little wholesome live stream though. Now if you're around the channel then please check in. But I do appreciate it's like Christmas Eve night, so it's a time for spending with families and whatnot. So if you can't check in, you know, if you're going to be doing something else, else, then it is no problem whatsoever. Please don't feel like you have to check into that live stream at all. It's a time for you and the ones you love to be together. That's the message of Christmas, and you realise it more when you lose your loved ones, you know, when you've lost loved ones, you realise. But Christmas isn't really about the presents. It's not really about the dinner. It's not really about the decorations. It's actually about people. It's actually about being with the people that you love and spending that precious, precious time with those that you love, because they're not around forever, you know. And so make every moment that you possibly can with your loved ones and the people that you cherish those moments. So again, if you're not around tonight, but I just wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Christmas Eve, and you have a fantastic day tonight. If you are around tonight, then I shall see you a little bit later on. And for this one, that's all for now, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.